art success stories. They're amazing. It's so inspiring to hear stories of artists who have forged their own paths and are living full, rich lives and making lots of money too. But what about those of us who are still kind of writing our stories, trying to get a foot in the door in the art world, learning to develop our skills, and we're just trying to feed that deep longing in our soul to make art? Well, today's video is super special because while hiking and plein air painting with an exceptional young artist, Tanner Steed, I got to ask him some questions about his art journey. Like many of you, Tanner is really just beginning his art journey, working hard to hone his skills, both studying and teaching, creating and selling fine art oil paintings, starting a YouTube channel, and establishing a presence on social media, all the things. Now be sure to watch to the end because I'll share my top 5 things all growing artists do that you should do too to be successful. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now. It's totally free and really helps me out as a creator to be able to keep bringing you art videos like this one. Hey guys, I'm in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, hiking with Tanner Steed and his beautiful wife, Brittany. And we're here today just doing some plein air painting. Tanner's painting with oil. He's a fellow art instructor and YouTuber, so go check out his channel right now. I'm gonna just ask Tanner some questions about his art career. I hope you guys enjoy. Wow, that looks so good. What made you choose this spot? What spoke to you?
Well, initially it was the gradient in the sky. I thought, oh my gosh, I just have to mix that gradient. For some reason, it just seemed so obvious and so nice that I needed to have that in the painting. I was captivated by the horizon line and how atmospheric it is. But then I saw this beautiful pine at this really, really sharp angle, and I thought that is just a perfect composition. Ask myself, what's the point of the painting? I think the point of the painting is this tree. So that's my focal point, right?
Has to be about something.
Has to be about something, yeah. I think it's important to be as selective as possible when painting outdoors, because if you try to capture everything in the scene, it just becomes overwhelming for you because the light is shifting, the weather could be changing. Pick and choose and create a painting. We're not just copying what we're seeing.
How often would you say you get outside to paint?
Minimum once a week. Painting outdoors has really helped me in progressing as an artist. It forces you to move quickly and make decisions. That rapid failure and repetition really forces you to improve.
So tell me about your chosen medium. What do you love about oil?
Oh, I love that. Yes, in my opinion, there is not a single painting that I've done that I consider finished. I can always improve it. I can always make it better. And that's what I love about oils is I can really take my time. I can rework edges. I can glaze a completely new layer if I wanted to. It fits my temperament. I'm very detail oriented.
Yeah. So at what point in your life did you decide you wanted to do art full time?
That's a difficult question, honestly, because it wasn't until relatively recently that I realized that all my life I had been wanting to become an artist and wanting to get better at drawing and painting. It was just 5 years ago, probably. We were walking around in a Michael's and I turned to Brittany and I'm like, hey, what if we picked up some colored pencils and just started drawing? And she's like, weird, sure.
Weird.
And I could feel like this overwhelming excitement.
Tanner's eureka moment was picking up a box of colored pencils. You may not always have a particular moment like this that you can point to, but if art supplies and the thought of drawing or painting something triggers that kind of excitement and joy in you, it might be a sign.
For some reason, I always believed in the idea that you were born with the ability to draw and paint. So for the longest time, I was like, no, that's not who I am. I wasn't born with the ability.
So you were talking yourself out of
I
it
was
for
totally,
years.
For years,
Shoot.
yeah. There were always kids that were better than me in high school or middle school, whatever. And so, but I always had this feeling of like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. I wish I was drawing. I wish I was painting.
Like Tanner, maybe you've been telling yourself for years, no, I wasn't born with any talent, or saying, but everyone else is better than me. And you've been squashing that desire to make art. When you open yourself up to possibility, to making those small but powerful mental shifts from, I can't do that, to, I wish I could do that, and ultimately to, yes, I can do that, you'll be motivated to put in the hard work to succeed at the thing you love. Talent or not, nothing can get in the way of practice and persistence.
So then finally, when Brittany said, let's just do it, to say it lightly, I went hard. Like,
All in.
Yeah, all in. I went from colored pencils to watercolors to acrylics and then finally to oils over the course of like maybe a year and a half. And ever since that moment, I've been painting every single day and trying to get as good as I possibly can. Thanks to painting, I've been able to meet such incredible people. It's been absolutely incredible. I plan to do this for the rest of my life, and this is just the coolest thing. I'm so grateful that I picked up those colored pencils.
Such a great story.
Yeah.
Being an artist is the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
So here's your support system back here. So Brittany films all of Tanner's videos.
Yes, I do.
There she is. They've been together, what, 7 years?
Yeah, 7
and
years.
And they just got married.
Yes.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Congratulations. So leave them some love in the comments because they just got married.
Thank you.
So who are your biggest influences in art?
Ooh, number one, my all-time favorite artist, contemporary, is Daniel Sprick. Daniel Sprick is like, I mean, I don't want to use the God word, but he is painting on another level entirely.
Yeah.
I've studied his paintings, just online and going to different museums, and I've done master copies of his paintings. It wasn't until recently that I decided to reach out, and he, after a few email exchanges, he was like, fine, you can come to the studio. And he was like, oh geez, who's this guy with dreadlocks?
I have to brag on you for a moment.
Yeah.
Because Tanner, that was like the ballsiest thing I've ever heard of. Just like emailing your art hero out of the blue. You don't know me, but can I study with you?
Yeah, it took 3 times. I asked him if I could take him out to lunch, or if I could just thank him in person, because I've learned so much from just looking at his paintings, doing master copies, and even watching an instructional video on MFA.
Awesome. Is his voice in your head now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, constantly.
You don't have to work it all out in isolation either. In Tanner's experience so far, local artists and even our modern day masters are incredibly generous, sharing their knowledge with young, committed artists. The caveat is that you do sometimes need to seek out that help.
Meeting him has been incredible. I've grown as an artist. My skill has improved. Yeah, it's one of the most incredible relationships I could ever have.
That's incredible. So shout out to Dan Sprick. He's world class. He's one of the best painters in the world. He's going to be in museums for ages to come.
He is.
And Tanner gets to study with him.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? So what are some obstacles you've faced as an artist in your artistic journey, if any?
I think, honestly, just believing in myself that I can do something. And I've made a really strong effort to pick things that are obviously scary to me. Like, I was so fearful of painting roses. And so one day I was like, oh, screw this. I'm just going to jump in and try to paint roses. And I painted rose after rose after rose after rose.
They
and
say
I'm
if
still
you're
learning.
Scared of it, you should do it.
Right.
I'm sure that's helped you grow in leaps and bounds.
Definitely.
So what are you doing personally day to day that just keeps sharpening your skills and helps you improve as an artist?
Every morning when I wake up, I have a cup of coffee and I immediately go into our second bedroom and I just do a quick drawing. Whether or not it be 30 minutes to an hour, I get a drawing in every single morning and I paint and draw every single day. I really do believe that drawing is painting. Like, that's such a classic saying. It's so true. You can only paint as well as you can draw. So I figure that I just draw as much as possible. Yeah.
That's so good. What great advice.
Yeah.
One more question for you. So many of our audience members are trying to decide if they want to really pursue art as a career. And so what would be your advice for someone who's just starting out?
Make sure that you are practicing every single day and paint what you love. So whatever that specific subject is or that medium is, just stay fixed to it and just practice it every single day religiously.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tanner.
course.
Thanks for painting with me today. What a joy
Thank
it's
you.
been.
Yeah, it's been a great time.
If you guys are at the beginning of your art journey, not sure what steps to take, just look at people who, like Tanner, are actively setting themselves up for success. All right, as promised, here are the 5 things that Tanner is doing right that you can do too. Tell yourself you can do it and say it over and over until you start believing it. Network with other artists and, if possible, study with someone. Tanner found a mentor not by luck or chance, but because he created that opportunity for himself by persistently asking and pursuing. Challenge yourself to try projects that scare you. Tanner was scared of painting roses, so he threw himself into the task of learning to paint roses. Practice daily. Tanner does a drawing every morning, whether he feels like it or not. Finally, like Tanner, be humble and kind, and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Check out these other videos about plein air painting, and I'll see you there.